Shattered illusions, a tale of resilience and new beginnings, double lives. Emily sat in the sterile, whitewashed hospital room, her fingers trembling as she clutched a crumpled tissue. The antiseptic smell was overwhelming, and the steady beep of the heart monitor seemed to mock her misery. Just hours earlier, her life had felt like a dream. Now it was unravelling into a nightmare. She had rushed to the hospital as soon as she heard about Tom's accident. They had been together for 3 years, and he had proposed to her just 6 months ago. She had believed they were on the cusp of a beautiful future together. The nurse had informed her that Tom had been in a car accident. "He's stable now," she had reassured Emily, guiding her to Tom's room. As Emily sat by his bed, holding his hand, she whispered, "You're going to be okay, Tom. I love you." Suddenly the door swung open and a woman with tear-streaked cheeks stormed into the room, a frantic look in her eyes. Behind her were 2 young children, a boy and a girl, their eyes wide with fear and confusion. Emily stood up, puzzled and defensive. "Who are you?" Emily demanded, her voice shaking. The woman glared at her, fury and anguish twisting her features. "I should be asking you that," she snapped. "I'm his wife, Lisa." The words hit Emily like a physical blow. "Wife?" she echoed, her mind struggling to process the information. "Yes, wife," Lisa spat out, her voice breaking. "And these are his children." Emily's world spun. She had never known Tom was married, let alone a father. She had met his friends, his colleagues, everyone except, she realised now, his family. The realisation cut deep. Had their entire relationship been a lie? "Tom and I have been together for 3 years, Emily said weakly, sinking back into the chair. "He never told me about you, about any of this." Lisa's expression softened slightly as she looked at the shocked woman before her. "I didn't know about you either," she admitted, her voice softer now. "He's been living a double life. I found out when the hospital called and told me about the accident. They said he was with his fiancé. I had to come and see for myself." The room fell into a heavy silence, broken only by the rhythmic beeping of the machines. Emily and Lisa stared at each other, both grappling with the betrayal and deceit. Just then Tom stirred, his eyes fluttering open. He looked from Emily to Lisa, confusion and fear flashing across his face. "Lisa, Emily," he croaked, his voice weak. "How could you do this to us, Tom?" Lisa asked, her voice trembling with emotion. Emily stood up, her anger boiling over. Why, Tom? Why lie to us both?" Tom closed his eyes, a tear slipping down his cheek. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I never wanted to hurt either of you. I was selfish. I thought I could keep both lives separate, but I was wrong. So wrong." The pain in his voice was palpable, but it did little to soothe the anger and betrayal boiling within Emily and Lisa. They both turned and walked out of the room, leaving Tom alone with his guilt and regret. As they stood in the hallway, the reality of the situation began to sink in. They had both been deceived by the man they loved. Lisa turned to Emily, her expression a mix of sorrow and determination. "We need to be strong for our own sakes and for the sake of these children," she said, glancing at her kids who were sitting on a bench nearby, looking lost and scared. Emily nodded, wiping her tears. "Yes, we do. We need to move on and build our lives without him." From that moment on, Emily and Lisa formed an unlikely alliance, bonded by their shared pain and the need to protect themselves and those they loved from further harm. Tom's double life had shattered their worlds, but together they would find a way to rebuild. Part 2. Picking up the pieces. The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotion and difficult decisions. Emily moved out of the apartment she had shared with Tom, finding solace in the supportive embrace of her close friends. Lisa, too, made changes. She decided to move back to her hometown to be closer to her family, where she could have a strong support system to help her raise her children. Emily and Lisa kept in touch, their bond growing stronger through shared experiences and understanding. They met for coffee whenever Lisa was in town, and they spoke often on the phone, providing each other with much-needed support. One rainy afternoon, Emily received a call from Lisa. Her voice was shaky but determined. "Emily, I've decided to file for divorce," she said. "It's time to end this chapter of my life and start anew." Emily felt a pang of sympathy and admiration for Lisa's courage. "I'm proud of you, Lisa," she said softly. "You deserve happiness and peace." "And you do too, Emily," Lisa replied. "We both do." Part 3, a new beginning months, turned into years, and both women slowly rebuilt their lives. Emily focused on her career, pouring her energy into her work and rediscovering her passions. She found joy in painting, a hobby she had abandoned years ago, and she even held a small gallery exhibition that received positive reviews. Lisa, meanwhile, settled into her new life with her children. She found a job as a teacher, a role she excelled in and loved. Her children thrived in their new environment, surrounded by family and friends who cared deeply for them. One evening, as Emily was preparing for her second art exhibition, she received an unexpected visitor. Lisa stood at her doorstep, a warm smile on her face and an invitation in her hand. "I wanted to invite you to a small celebration," Lisa said. "It's been a year since I finalized the divorce, and I want to celebrate new beginnings." Emily's heart swelled with gratitude and affection for the woman who had become her closest friend. "I'd love to," she replied, hugging Lisa tightly. Part 4, moving forward. The celebration was a modest gathering of close friends and family. As Emily looked around the room, she felt a deep sense of contentment. She had come a long way from the day she discovered Tom's betrayal, and she had emerged stronger and more resilient. During the toast, Lisa raised her glass and spoke. "This past year has been one of the most challenging times of my life, but also one of the most rewarding. I've learned the importance of honesty, the strength of friendship, and the power of starting over. And I couldn't have done it without all of you, especially Emily." Emily felt tears prick her eyes as she clinked glasses with Lisa. They had both found a way to move forward, to create new lives filled with hope and possibility. As the evening drew to a close, Emily stood outside looking up at the stars. She knew that life would always have its challenges, but she also knew she had the strength to face them. She had discovered her true self through the trials she had endured, and she was ready for whatever the future held. Part 5. Unexpected surprises. A few months later, Emily received a letter from Tom. It was the first communication she had had from him since the hospital. With trembling hands, she opened the envelope and unfolded the letter. "Dear Emily, I don't deserve your forgiveness, and I won't ask for it. I just want you to know how deeply sorry I am for everything I put you through. You deserved so much better, and I failed you in the worst way possible. I've been going through therapy and trying to understand why I did what I did. There's no excuse for my actions, but I'm working to become a better person. I hope you have found happiness and peace, and that someday you can forgive me. Tom." Emily read the letter twice, her emotions a mix of sadness and closure. She didn't know if she could ever fully forgive Tom, but she appreciated his attempt to make amends. She decided to put the letter away as a reminder of the past she had overcome and the strength she had gained. Part 6. New Horizons. Years passed, and life continued to bring new opportunities and challenges. Emily's art career flourished, and she travelled to various cities for exhibitions and workshops. She even met someone new, a kind and understanding man named David, who appreciated her for who she was and respected her past. Lisa, too, found happiness. She met a wonderful man named Robert, who adored her children and treated them as his own. They eventually married in a beautiful, intimate ceremony surrounded by loved ones. Emily and Lisa remained close friends, their bond unbreakable. They often reminisced about the past, but more importantly, they celebrated their present and looked forward to the future. As they sat together one evening, watching their children play in the backyard, Lisa turned to Emily and said, "We've come a long way, haven't we?" Emily nodded, a smile lighting up her face. "We have, and we're stronger for it." The two women clinked their glasses, toasting to their resilience, their friendship, and the bright future ahead. And in that moment, they knew that no matter what life threw at them, they would face it together, stronger and more united than ever before. When Emily rushes to the hospital after her fiancé Tom's accident, she is devastated to discover a shocking truth. Tom has been living a double life, complete with a wife and 2 children. In the wake of betrayal, Emily and Tom's wife Lisa form an unexpected alliance. Together they navigate the aftermath of deceit, rebuilding their lives and finding strength in their shared pain. Shattered Illusions, a tale of resilience and new beginnings, is a story of heartbreak, healing, and the unbreakable bond of friendship that emerges from the ruins of a shattered past.